You're now locked into the Lakers Land podcast with your host, Seven Mitchell.
Happy Friday. It's game day, and welcome back to Lakers Land. I'm Seven Mitchell, your host. Glad to be with you. We got the Lakers and the Timberwolves later on tonight. Definitely want to kind of break that down. But first things first, y'all know how we do here on Lakers Land. My God, I got to talk to the bosses. The James family name is added again. And, bro, you got to be kidding me. LeBron James, the quote unquote pinnacle of NBA greatness, his name is being dragged into this FBI gambling inquiry. This thing blew up yesterday. Was Chauncey Billups among others that was arrested. Now, reportedly, Damon Jones is behind this situation, former teammate of LeBron. It states that LeBron's injury status was kind of being sold for prop bets, and people once counted LeBron's circle as the circle of trust looks really suspicious right now. I think it's one thing when your adversaries try to pick apart your reputation. It's another thing when your own camp, coaches, friends, ex-players are allegedly, feeding confidential information into a scheme that treats your body and your career as currency. And LeBron says he didn't know that Damon Jones was basically gambling and capitalizing off of this. So we'll get deeper into that. But just to kind of put it on the surface, LeBron is denying any knowledge of this. But bro, like I said yesterday when we talked about Bronny leaking the trade for Luka and AD in the group chat, when it rained, it pours for the Lakers, bro. And for LeBron James specifically, I mean, this beginning of this season has just been ridiculous from the Henny advertisement um, to now this, and he's not even playing right now. And the season has started, and the Lakers have not yet won a game, and we playing tonight. For LeBron, who spent decades building a pretty and unshakable image, LeBron has been poster child for the NBA. This isn't to me just a storm. This is like a category 5 hurricane because things just keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. And some of these wounds are self-inflicted. I'm not trying to paint James as some type of victim, but legacy isn't just about stats. Legacy isn't just about rings. It's about trust. It's about influence, future opportunities, and the standing, that your kids are going to want to inherit. So even though James' name is directly, indirectly being brought up in this, I don't want to paint the picture that he was gambling or anything. But Damon Jones got some got some questions that he needs to answer, and this kind of just took me by surprise. I'm not totally surprised because it feels like LeBron's name always get put in some type of mix. Let's be honest. Uh, but again, just the timing of this just kind of blew me away. I got to be honest. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know how important this is going to be for the Lakers specifically, but this is really a big deal, and this is a big story. LeBron James, for the most part, is one of the most scrutinized athletes in NBA history. Whether you like him or you don't, I think we can agree with that. Every move has been analyzed. Every whisper that LeBron makes has been magnified. You know, even a small link to this saying that injury status info was sold for prop bets, it can prompt sponsors to rethink contracts, media partnerships. It really questions credibility, not just necessarily for LeBron but his inner circle, and fans going to question the trust behind it too, and they got the right to. I think the optics alone in this is just not a good look at all, to be honest. Whether LeBron is going to be labeled as guilty by association, I think that's all besides the point. The time of this, and because of the history LeBron has shown with, either being indirect or just weird vibes and energy, people are not going to necessarily want to give LeBron James a pass with this. Or as far as the knowledge that he had of what Damon Jones was actually doing, bro. I think the more public your persona is, the higher the stakes are. Whether you LeBron James or anybody else, documents live, testimonies, texts, anything unearthed was going to be cross-examined, whether you like it or not. And I think that puts an intense pressure not to on LeBron's legal team, but on every professional and professional tie that he has. Legacy, like I said, is multidimensional. Championships and stats, yes, but it's also about character. It's also about trust. It's also about the generational impact. And I feel like if evidence surface, you know, even a little bit, that figures close to LeBron James were complicit in selling his internal information, I think it's going to affect his legacy. People are going to argue that it's not because it's not specifically basketball related, but we're talking about the social media era. We're talking about LeBron James. We're talking about a guy who people just as a value don't really have that much love for, it seemed like. In the NBA history books, LeBron James have already earned his spot. But public memory is fickle. People are fake. One major scandal in the world of sports, bro, especially one tied to like fraud or gambling, something involving money, it's going to overshadow your on-court success. That's just the risk that you're taking. You think about some of the greatest people in sports, Pete Rose, and you just think about all the people who's really had a great career, and it kind of got thrown under the bus because of a gambling situation or fraud, anything dealing with money. Uh, LeBron is in a unique space, and again, I'm not putting guilt on him as far as gambling or anything, but this is not something that I believe the community will look at LeBron as a victim first and foremost. I'm willing to believe that people, at least casual fans, I know the LeBron haters will, they'll go for the angle of LeBron had knowledge of what Damon Jones was doing before they say that LeBron completely didn't and was a victim. I mean, that's just the price that you pay for being LeBron James. Um, this is crazy. Sports is uniquely vulnerable to me, to the gambling probe damage, contracts, performance incentives, the list goes on. It's all part of the public promise. Fans expect what they see on the court is earned and not manipulated. And when y'all are betting and doing things that's changing that, if these allegations is true that, the injury information for LeBron was monetized for betting, that's not just legal liability to me. That is like the damage to the integrity of what the fans believe. It makes you kind of heartbroken. And when that belief is broken, the trust is hard to rebuild. LeBron don't have that type of time to rebuild trust for people for stuff like that. He's on his way out the door. And that's the crazy part. That's why I feel like even though LeBron has had this historic career, even though he has been labeled and debated as the greatest of all time, bro, allegations like this in this day and era, uh, it really can make it real tough for you to bounce back. And like I said, LeBron doesn't have a huge sample size of basketball if people was to turn on him for this situation to be able to change the minds. His window is closing. So, I don't know, man. This was a tough situation. I can't say that LeBron didn't have anything to do with the knowledge of Damon Jones, what he was doing. He say he didn't. So I would have to give him a benefit of the doubt, I guess. But I don't expect the NBA community to look like or make LeBron into some victim with this situation. I don't really see that happening at all. I think people are going to, just like other scenarios, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. I just don't like the timing of this. All this stuff happening around LeBron James and he not even playing. Just distraction after distraction after distraction. And we ain't won the game yet. And I don't know what's up with Damon Jones. See, this is the thing about it. In what world would Damon Jones think it would be good to bet on LeBron, to throw these bets out on LeBron injury status and think it wasn't going to come back on him? Even if not by the NBA, a part of me find it hard to believe that he would think that he could keep that away from LeBron. How does LeBron not know what's going on? But I don't want to be that naive. I really don't. But we just had a conversation yesterday here on Lakers Land about Bronny James leaking the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade to the group chat when it happened. And I talked about how it was bogus that the son of LeBron was able to spin this information or narrative into the group chat of the team. But according to reports, LeBron James didn't know nothing about the trade. That's what he said. He didn't know. And I gave James the benefit of the doubt on that. He was on the show yesterday. He said he's going to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt on that. I don't believe. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe. I'm not of the mindset that because LeBron is an active billionaire, he can't use more money. Gambling is a big thing. And when you tie in the mafia into it, people don't be having a choice. Depending on who you get in bed with, like, it's going to be real interesting to see how this thing play out with Chauncey Billups and the rest of these guys because, if you're depending on who you dealing with, you really don't have no choice. You got to play that shit out. I saw some details of what these guys were being accused of and how they were scamming the potential players in these poker games. It was nasty work. This is a multi-million-dollar scam fraud situation that they are putting in. And then you got Damon Jones, who's allegedly been placing bets on LeBron's injury status. And this ties into some game between the Lakers and Milwaukee that LeBron didn't play. And apparently Damon Jones, texted and put it out there, get a big bet on Milwaukee. I just find that so hard to believe that nobody from LeBron himself to his camp. And I don't know when this game happened. I would like to know exactly what game this was. I'm thinking that this was the game that Austin Reeves had went off because remember the Lakers beat the Bucks without LeBron and AD. Was it last year or year before last? I think Austin Reeves had went off and beat the Milwaukee Bucks without LeBron. I don't know if it was that game or not. I want to do my homework on that. But I really just find it hard to believe. Rich, Map, like nobody, and not to say that they would dry snitch on Damon Jones, but you wouldn't, if you knew about this situation, bro, you had to try to find a way to clean it up. I would think. I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough story. I don't think this story is going to die down overnight, not by the least. For the simple fact that, you got to watch your circle. If LeBron had no knowledge about this, really, if he honestly had no knowledge about this, as tight knit as people have said his circle and his environment has been, this is disappointing. Damon Jones is a former teammate. Did he not coach LeBron before? He's real tight with James. So, this would be bad. It is bad. I think it would be horrific if it came out that if LeBron had knowledge of this, bro, if LeBron had any knowledge that Damon Jones was doing this, bro, it's going to be nasty work for LeBron James. I'm not even going to lie. LeBron James can't even get away with saying that he knew about it and confronted Damon Jones about it. That's not enough. If LeBron James came out today and said, I had nothing to do with this, but I did gain knowledge about what Damon Jones did and I confronted Damon Jones about it, I don't think he would still get a pass because he didn't report, because he didn't snitch it. because he didn't tell. So this is a lose-lose situation for LeBron James. I'm not even going to lie. How it affects the Lakers, I don't know. We got our own problems. We got enough as it is. So once I get more information on this Damon Jones, LeBron James situation with the FBI and this whole gambling um, thing, I'll keep you guys in the loop. We live daily here on Lakers Land. So any breaking news that I get on that, I'm gonna keep y'all in the mix, no doubt about it. About to get into our next topic. Not gonna hold y'all because again, today is game day. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, I believe 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be streaming the game live here for our watch party. So if you guys are new to Lakers Land, make sure y'all pull up, kick it with us for the game. We were giving out free VIP access. We also got some free NBA League passes we're going to be giving away and for the next couple of games. So you guys make sure y'all pull up the Lakers Land tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, as we watch the Lakers try to get their first win of the season going against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not confident that the Lakers are going to win tonight. I'm really not, yo. I'm just not impressed. I am not. I just got to be totally transparent with y'all. I am not impressed with what I've seen from the Lakers. Luka is going to be Luka, and I don't question him. I'm not questioning at all. I'm gonna just keep saying it again and again. You and I both know championships are won with a team, with role players. Superstars don't win championships. Not in the NBA. This is the 2000s. I saw the injury report. I didn't know Luka and Austin Reeves was injured from that first game versus Golden State. Now they are both expected to play tonight, but they are both dealing with some injuries. So here we go again with this nasty situation for the Lakers to start the season. The unknowns is really biting us in our butt. But I did before we get up out of here, because we are going down, locking in versus the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. I thought this would be a great time to do another evaluation matrix. I thought this would be another good time to do an evaluation matrix on Luka and Anthony Edwards. I want to put them one-on-one this morning in the matrix here on Lakers Land. I want to break this thing down for categories of performance and skill. So we're going to look at the shot creation. We're going to look at the handle and control, the off-ball movement, the finishing package, and the transition impact between Luka and Anthony Edwards. We're going to compare them both and figure out who actually is the best in our evaluation matrix. So the first things first here, let's talk about the shot creation, basically where you can measure who consistently generates a clean look when the play breaks down, off the dribble, isolation, step back, contested pull-ups, things like that. Luka last year, he averaged 28 points on 45% shooting from the field with about, I want to say Luka had about 3.5 3-pointers per game last year. Anthony Edwards averaged just under 30 for the season in the 2025 playoffs. He was doing his thing. His mid-range pull-up frequency jumped there by 22% from the year before. So there was a definite improvement. Who's the more reliable self-creator when the defense collapses? Is it Luka, the manipulator, or is it, that risk taker, Anthony Edwards? Who's the most reliable self-creator when the defense break down? To me, I feel like Luka's pace control and, Luka's body language, it makes him elite at creating his own opportunities, even against traps. Anthony Edwards bursts his speed and his hang time ability. It's rare. It separates him from a lot. And it makes him one of the few young players who can break coverage purely through athleticism. Luka Doncic bends defenses. Anthony Edwards breaks defenses. I like the impact from Anthony Edwards, but he's not as consistent to me as Luka. And Luka got some consistency issues at times, but I would give my matrix, I would edge it to Luka a little bit more when we talk about shot creation between him and Anthony Edwards. I just feel like Luka kind of the game slows down for Luka a little bit when everybody else is panicking. So that really would be my first take from Luka when we talk about the first category of that matrix. I'm going to give that to Luka Doncic. Now, the second category would be the finishing package. Anthony Edwards. I mean, Edwards, I believe he's like 67% at the rim last year. One of the top rated amongst high usage guards. And then you got Luka, who converted 63% of his shots inside 10 feet last season using angles and pump fakes. And, the Luka's timing has just always been bananas. So I guess my question in this matrix for the finishing package for you guys is, would you rather have a finesse and craft under control type of player, or would you rather have that raw power that really is going to terrify rim protectors? When you see Anthony Edwards about to take off, I don't care who you are defensively, you better wake up, because it could be a poster. Anthony Edwards, the way he finishes at the rim is violent, yo. He is violent, just like Russell Westbrook used to, that feel that he used to give. Like, he's a one-man fast break. He double dares you to contact. Luka, though, is surgical. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Luka get to that damn basket so smooth. It looks slow motion, bro. His ability to finish, through size without really having that vertical pop. I think it's an art, to be honest. It's one of the benefits that Luka has been able to master by not being so athletic. When the paint gets really crowded, though, I think Anthony Edwards has a higher ceiling because of the vertical athleticism. So the finishing package, even though Luka makes it look easy, I think Anthony Edwards have a little bit more tools. He has that vertical dominance, and I think he's more intimidating at the rim than Luka is. So I would edge that package of finishing to Anthony Edwards actually over Luka. The third category I got for the matrix would be handle and control. This is basically where we measure and depict the pace, the tempo, and limit the turnovers. Anthony Edwards last season, I believe, averaged about 6 assists and 4 turnovers in the playoffs against the Lakers. His pace has improved a little bit. I've seen from the first game and even a little bit in the preseason, but it's still a lot to be seen. Last year, I know Luka averaged just under 8 assists, I think, and about 3.4 turnovers per game. Luka, to me, is one of the best creator to turnover ratios amongst high usage guards. So um, Luka, to me, operates like a puppeteer. Like I told y'all, he dictates everything. He's a true quarterback. Defender angle, screen timing, game speed. Anthony Edwards handles is improving, but he's still explosive, over efficient. Luka got the efficiency. He has the best floor game of any non-point guard in the league. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, and he's not. People call Luka a point guard, but I see Luka way more than that. He's just universal to me. So I'm giving Luka clearly the edge and handle and control over, Anthony Edwards. I feel like Luka got elite tempo control, and he can play a lot of mistake-free basketball. The off-ball movement category, which would be next, that basically kind of like measures the IQ and the motor of these two, Luka and Anthony Edwards, when you consider relocation, cutting, timing off of penetration, spacing awareness, things like that. Luka spent 80% of possessions as an initiator, not a mover. Anthony Edwards, I mean, he improved his off-ball relocation, I believe, by like almost 15% from the year prior. So when you ask who's harder to game plan for when the ball isn't in their hands, I think it's Anthony Edwards. Luka is a better basketball player. Don't get it twisted. I think Luka impact fades slightly off ball. He tends to conserve energy. Anthony Edwards, he has a higher off-ball motor. His athletic potential, bro, is just through the roof, and he is young. So I am giving the off-ball movement advantage between Luka and Anthony Edwards. I'm actually giving that to Anthony Edwards. Last but not least, the transition impact. This is basically where, fellas, you would measure like chaos creation in the open floor. Like how effective can each player convert speed, decision making, and finishing when the defense is kind of unsettled. When you think about these two guys specifically, Luka averages, I think, just under 2 points per transition possession. Anthony Edwards, if I'm not mistaken, generates just about the same. Top 5 in the league, uses speed and vertical pop to collapse defenses a lot. He can do that single-handedly. Who would you say actually changes the momentum faster, Luka or Anthony Edwards? The eye test tells me that it's Luka. The way Luka is able to manipulate spacing, the way Luka is able to freeze defenders, I mean, Luka can make some cross-court reads that only I've ever seen LeBron James do and Magic Johnson in my whole years of watching basketball. That's true transition dominance. Anthony Edwards is good, but his open floor dominance is great. But Luka, I think it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more deeper than that. And by Luka playing the point guard, I just think he just got more skills in the bag. So I would edge that to Luka. So the final matrix score that we have between Luka and Anthony Edwards out of the 5 categories, Luka wins the shot creation category, the handler control, and transition impact. And I got Anthony Edwards winning in the finishing package in the off-ball movement category. So 3-2 is where I stand at in the conversation between Anthony Edwards versus Luka when we put them in the matrix and evaluate with those specific subcategories. Luka Doncic, like I said, is still the best architect. He's a better architect. He builds games with patience, precision, and control. Anthony Edwards is kind of much the opposite. He burns games down. He wins by pressure. He wins by chaos. But they both have been successful in their styles of play. So it's going to be an interesting game tonight. I think you probably would be a fool not to favor Minnesota to win tonight. The Lakers, to me, just got so much to work on. I don't even know where to begin. But it's going down tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live, full effect here in Lakers land, chopping it up. And hopefully the Lakers can get their first win of the season, bro, because it's going to be a roller coaster. I don't think the Lakers can survive without LeBron James. This first month and a half, I'm sorry. And I know Luka kick ass. Luka had 40. Austin Reeves had almost 30. And again, I know it was the first game. But, I'm just not excited. I'm not optimistic about this situation. I'm really, really not. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. Oh, man. LeBron, yo. All right. Well, I am about to sign off in a second or two. So I will get back with you guys tonight as we prepare for Lakers versus Timberwolves. Let me know in the predictions who y'all got tonight and why. Shout out to everybody on our YouTube channel as well. Do me a favor and smash that like button. If you guys are new to Lakers Land, do us a huge favor and subscribe. Come on over to our playback room, playback.tv/LakersLand Show, and join the room as we get ready for tonight. It is going down 10:30 p.m. Eastern, live full effect. We got Luka versus Anthony Edwards. We got the Timberwolves and the Lakers going down tonight. Happy Friday, y'all. Game day. Get ready. Get your popcorn ready. I will catch y'all later this evening in Lakers Land. I'm Seven Mitchell. Y'all stay safe until tonight. I'm out.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Lakers Land podcast with Seven Mitchell. If you rocked with the show, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a review wherever you're listening. Join the conversation on social at Lakers Land Show and tap in for daily takes, polls, and more. Until next time, stay loyal, stay loud, and always stay Lakered up.